As you know, vector has both magnitude and direction. So therefore, additions of two vectors cannot be done using the ordinary laws of algebra. But we can add two or more vectors using these two rules, or we can say laws. So the first law that deal with the additions of vector is triangle law of vector addition. And the second law is a parallelogram law of vector addition. Okay, let us look first at the triangle law of vector addition. Suppose I have two vectors, vector A and vector B. Vector A is acting in this direction and vector B is acting in this direction. Now if I want to add these two vectors using this triangle law of vector addition, then I have to do like this. I will draw a line OP. See this line OP? I draw this line OP which is equal and parallel to the vector A. Okay, so this OP here, it is parallel to this vector A. Vector A is acting in this direction, so OP also should be acting in that direction, parallel like this. And the magnitude of this line is the same as vector A. Okay, next, from the head of this vector P, I will draw a line PQ, okay, which is parallel and equals to vector B. So this line PQ, it is parallel to vector B like this. Vector B is acting in this direction, so PQ also is acting in this direction. Now OP and PQ, they are taking in the same order. Alright, the sides OQ, now this is the third sides of a triangle, and this third sides of a triangle will give you the resultant vector of A and B. So therefore OQ here, it is equals to, so according to this law, OQ vector, which is the resultant vector, is equals to OP arrow plus PQ arrow. Or I can say, if I represent this OQ by the vector R, then this R arrow is equals to A arrow plus B arrow. Okay. So now we can state this law as when two vectors A and B are represented in magnitude and direction by the two sides of a triangle, then the third sides of a triangle will represent in magnitude and direction about the resultant vectors of the two vectors A and B. So that is the meaning of this law. Okay. Next, parallelogram law of vector addition. Again, if this is the vector A, then I draw a line OP which is equal and parallel to vector A with this. And from the tail, when I see tail mean, this is the point, this point is known as tail, this is known as head. So from the tail of this vector OP, I will draw a vector OQ which is parallel and equal to vector B like this. Now if you complete this diagram to get a parallelogram, then you will get, this is the diagonal. OS is the diagonal. Now this OS here will give you the the resultants of two vectors A arrow and B arrow. So therefore, according to this law, the resultant vector OS arrow is equals to OP arrow plus OQ arrow. Now if I represent this OS as capital R, then I can say R arrow is equals to A arrow plus B arrow. Okay. So therefore, this parallelogram law of vector addition can now be stated like this. When two vectors A arrow and B arrow are represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the diagonal of the parallelogram will give the resultant vector in magnitude and direction. Okay, so these are the two laws of vector addition, and in the next video we shall see about the mathematical analysis of these two laws to find the magnitude of the resultant vector as well as the directions of the resultant vector.